Ray-Cism at Warner Brothers, Ray Fisher out as Cyborg, Julie Strain dead, Indiana Jones games, Star Wars games, and potentially a Qui-Gon Jinn return to Star Wars. All that here tonight and more on Hollywood After Fucking Dark. Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing? Matt Jarbo here, $3 Theater. Of course, today is the 13th of January, 2021. Sorry for not going live last night. I was on my way home from doing my deliveries, my last night of doing deliveries for a while because my car has to go in for the shop, so I'm effectively unemployed, which sucks. But as soon as I get home, as soon as I pull in the driveway last night, power goes out for 14 hours. I live in the woods. Do you know what it's like to live in the forest where you have no internet, no power, no cell phone service, and 2 children that are toddlers? It was hell, but I survived. And I survived with the help of not only coffee, but these great channel members right here, the Hollywood After Dark channel members. You guys know who you are. Give yourself a round of applause if you see your name on this list. If you don't see your name on this list, by all means, you can do so by joining up in the channel description there. Help a brother out while he gets his car repaired. That's basically where things are right now. Also, streamlabs.com/3buck theaters in the chat if you want to help out there too. That is an option. I have to be a little bit of a shill. Unfortunately, I do apologize for that, but it is just the way that the world works at this particular moment in time. That being said, there is a lot to get to today. There's actually a fair amount going on with Hollywood. The biggest one of the day is the Ray Fisher announcement that he popped up a few hours ago over there on his Twitter feed, where he started talking about breaking it down, really, where things stand with everything. So let's take a look at this here real quick. So he just put out there, please read accountability over entertainment. It's a bit of a long screed, but it's one I think that we're really going to be able to get a bit of info out of. And if people see people in the chat, they're like, "Oh, come on, Ray-Cism, Matt, really bad pun." It's a fine pun, okay? It's a fine pun. I needed something punny, and it just seemed to work. I'm not downplaying what happened. I'm trying to be somewhat entertaining. This is part of my job. That being said, this is what he posted today. It says, I have received official confirmation that Warner Brothers Pictures has decided to remove me from the cast of The Flash. I strongly disagree with this decision, but it's one that is unsurprising. Despite the misconceptions, Cyborg's involvement with The Flash is much larger than a cameo. And while I do mourn the lost opportunity to bring Victor Stone back to the screen, bringing awareness to the actions of Walter Hamada will prove to be a much more important contribution to our world. On December 30th, 2020, I made it clear that I cannot, with a clear conscience, participate in any production associated with the current president of DC Films, Walter Hamada. The reasoning behind that declaration was twofold. One, Walter's purposeful attempt to undermine the Justice League investigation in order to protect his friend and former co-president, Jeff Johns. 2, Walter's attempt to protect himself by contributing to public dissemination of lies and misinformation about myself and the Justice League investigation in Warner Brothers Pictures September 4th statement to the Wrap. Again, Humberto Gonzalez plays a large part in all of this, but we'll have to wait and see how that whole thing shakes out. He goes on to say here, bear in mind, Walter Hamada is interfering with the Justice League investigation and is completely separate, is a separate issue from the investigation itself. And while Walter's behavior was not a point of focus during the investigation of the Justice League's reshoots, his dangerous and enabling actions during the investigation process must be called to account. On July 7th, 2020, during a 57-minute long phone call with Walter, I made multiple attempts to have him escalate my claims of misconduct against Joss Whedon, Jeff Johns, and John Berg through the proper channels. Rather than escalate the situation when initially asked, Walter disparaged Joss Whedon and John Berg in an attempt to cover for Jeff Johns. When I alerted Walter that Jeff was in fact a major contributor to the issues experienced, including blatant racism, Walter tried, but to no avail, to get me to reveal the names of witnesses and other specifics that could be used to forewarn Jeff of the claims being brought against him. Walter even went so far as to sharply dismiss certain claims of mine as untrue because of his work experience and personal relationship with Jeff. Walter indicated that he has he was briefed on Joss Whedon's problematic behavior well in advance of me speaking out July 1st, 2020. That briefing likely came from Jeff Johns, with whom Walter served as co-president of DC Films. Regardless of how he was made aware, Walter knew that there was legitimacy to my claims against Joss Whedon, yet he persisted in trying to minimize and dismiss the situation, claiming that it is a producer's job to protect the director and that he was looking to move beyond anything to do with Zack Snyder's Justice League. It wasn't until I argued Walter down that he agreed to escalate my claims as asked, citing it as above his pay grade. Knowing that he had overtapped and that I had no intention of backing down, Walter made matters worse by making tastelessly self-aware joke about not wanting me to put him on Twitter about this. I love the line here. Well, here we are. All right, he says, despite Walter's best efforts, the Justice League investigation was able to expose the racist, coercive, discriminatory, and retaliatory behavior of Jeff Johns during his tenure with Warner Media's affiliates. It has also led to more immediate parting of ways between Warner Media and Joss Whedon. While it may be legally and financially safer to quietly phase Jeff Johns out or to let Joss Whedon exit of his own accord, I share neither of those responsibilities. My responsibilities are and have been, 1, to try to protect those that were brave enough to lend their voice to the Justice League investigation. 2, to use what little power I possess to ensure the workplace behavior exhibited during the Justice League reshoots and this investigation never happen again. No one in any position should have to argue with their employer for the claims of abuse, racism, and discrimination to be taken up the proper chain of command. And no one in any position of leadership should attempt to dissuade those wishing to report such claims from doing so. Walter's actions have transformed this narrative from an investigation of on-set misconduct in 2017 to the examination of the present-day cover-up culture of Hollywood. His contribution to Warner Brothers Pictures' September 4th statement to the rap was false, cowardly, and reckless. I maintain that Walter Hamada is unfit for a position of leadership, and I am willing at any point to submit to a polygraph test to support my claims against him. I don't know how many instances of workplace abuse Walter has attempted to cover up in the past, but hopefully the Justice League investigation will be the last. If the end of my time as Cyborg is the cost of helping to bring awareness and accountability to Walter Hamada's actions, I'll pay it gladly. Onward, gratefully, Ray. Accountability over entertainment. Finally here saying a quote, "You reach a point in life where you simply must take a stand." Mommy Till Mobley, if I'm saying that right. I'm probably not. I'm probably mispronouncing that name. I have a tendency of doing that. It's fucking terrible, but this is what I do. So let's take a look here at what you guys happen to be saying about this. I'm very curious to know your guys' thoughts on this one. Let's dive in. Garrick here asks the question, overall, would you say DC movies have gotten better or worse under Walter Hamada? Well, all things considered, they've stayed kind of the same. I mean, he's put movies out that were under his purview, but him actually being the developing factor of them, there's really not been. So, Aquaman came out at the end of 2018. He was installed at the beginning of 2018, so they were already in post-production. Wonder Woman 84 was already going into production. It shot in mid-2018, so it was already, the pre-production roles were already happening. Everything was going on from there. Birds of Prey, maybe he had a bit of stuff to do with that. That movie is arguably, I think, like the weakest film out of what's come out since he took over. And I'm saying this, and even though I didn't really care for Wonder Woman 84, I feel like aesthetically speaking, it was trying something, whereas Birds of Prey was just a mishmash, terrible film. So yeah, I mean, right now he hasn't really done much. The first movie that came out that he was going to do, the first movie that was announced was the Trench movie that James Wan was going to be producing, a movie about the trench, right? Like that was it. It wasn't like it was like a trench film which I think is what, going to go to HBO Max or something. So yeah, there's that. Art Bell says nice wordplay in the title. Thank you. I try. Let's see. Andrew here says this made me lose hope for Flash movie, and I got excited for Keaton in Multiverse, and I know how you are in Multiverse, Jarbo. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the concept of it. I don't think they're going to handle it well. I think it's an attempt to throw everything at the wall, including the kitchen sink, and hope to God something sticks. Kyle here says Ray Fisher never said it was racism, as evidenced by the statement that I just read out. He says racism twice. It was aimed at Jeff Johns, so my point still stands. There is that one. All right, let's see here. Let me take a quick look. All right. Is Ray Fisher's career in Hollywood in question? I don't see why any producer would want to work with somebody who brings so much drama. That, of course, is going to be the factor. That is going to be the key in all of this, whether or not Ray continues to work. Now, right now, he is working on an ABC production. And once that's over with, who knows? I don't see him really working with Warner Brothers anytime soon. But since they haven't tried to shut him up, and like Zack hasn't tried to shut him up leading into the release of Justice League, I have a feeling that they're going to probably bypass DC Films. And if he does continue to work with on the character on the small screen, because he said bring it to the big screen, right? So he didn't say bring it to the small screen. So I think that's a wording there for talking about Warner Media working with Zack directly on future projects. And that's if you want to believe those particular rumors. I don't quite know. Willie Jackson here says Enosh did a video on this earlier and he was pissed. Yeah, I saw a bit of it pop up. I just gotten internet back, so I didn't really, I was busy, but I know he's pretty ticked off. Resident Justice here. Enosh is Poindexter Lounge. I think he said he's going to boycott the Flash. We'll have to wait and see if that holds. I believe the man, but I mean, when I say we'll see, I mean colloquially. Whether or not it will colloquially be barred by a lot of people. All right, let's see here. So will Cyborg be recast or will he be written out of the DCEU? They'll recast him. They'll claim multiverse Cyborg. It's a different Victor Stone from a different reality. Some kind of crap like that. Although I feel if the fans push back enough on it, they may reverse course. And honestly, the president of DC Films is such a wishy-washy job in general that all things considered, the likelihood of Hamada lasting past his next 3 years is probably, I don't even think the guy's going to last the 3 years. But then again, I could be wrong on that one. I'll be fully sure on that one. I'll admit I could be wrong on that, but at the same time, it's like they're in such a mess right now. I don't see why they kept him. It just feels like Toby Emmerich was backing his boy in the wake of all this to show solidarity within the brand. I don't know. AJ here says, he, meaning Ray Fisher, will probably get blacklisted. I don't think he'll get blacklisted, but, he might have a bit of trouble finding mainstream work. But then again, he's mostly a Broadway actor, and Broadway don't give a shit. They don't give a fuck about Hollywood. Let's see. Classy Ulysses here says, it's going to be Flashpoint's a reboot, new cast for different roles. Probably. Who knows? Janice131 here says he's been very vague about whatever was done to him in the first place. Yeah, I know. I know people out there want to have the full story, and I think at this point we are owed the full story. I think because it's been ongoing for 6 months, all the hoopla, all the reports about it, the industry, the sniping at one another. I think fans are kind of frazzled, and I think fans want this to be over with as well. But Ray hasn't gotten the justice that he wants just yet. So he's playing it close to his chest, and he's got the support of, he's clearly got the support of Gal and Jason and Zach and probably Ben and maybe Ezra. Maybe not Ezra, because Ezra had his own problem with after he choked that woman out, and they didn't fire him from, he's an actual on-tape woman beater, right? On-tape woman beater. They didn't fire him from Fantastic Beasts or from playing The Flash. Johnny Depp, on the other hand, gets lied about by his ex-wife, and he loses everything. I'm just saying that's a whole other topic for conversation, but you can tell where some loyalties lie in Warner's. Anyway, let's see. Music Man here said DC needs to get rid of those two if it's to succeed. I'm not too sure what you mean by those two. Do you mean Jeff Johns and Walter Hamada, or do you mean Jeff Johns and Ray Fisher? I'm not too sure. Let's see here. All right. Resident Justice says Walter Hamada re-signed until 2023, so I don't think he can be fired or let go. No, he can still be. He signed a contract. They could just buy him out. You know what I mean? They could just buy him out, or they could just go, look, dude, like, you resign. You know, we'll give you a severance, but resign. The signing of those contracts means shit in Hollywood. E equals MCU says he will get blackballed unless Zach does something outside of WB. Again, I disagree. He's working right now. That doesn't make any sense. This has already been ongoing. This is an ongoing issue. This is not something that just randomly popped up a week ago. We're talking well over a half year, and he still found work. So no, he won't get blacklisted. That is not something that's not something that's happening. Anyway, Xavier T says here, is Keelar going to step in and put a stop to this madness? I can't believe they would fire Ray. This has got to stop. Fans deserve better. Well, again, fans mean shit in this perspective. And I say that because we're not talking about like it's not the fans that matter here. It's about respectability and actionability inside of the system. It's about equality and fairness inside the system. This has nothing to do with the fans. This has everything to do with the business. And the business of Hollywood is a motherfucker. And a lot of people don't fucking understand the business of Hollywood. Period. They don't fucking understand it. So Ray's doing a ballsy move here. Some people have criticized him for overplaying his hand, which is entirely possible. He might have overplayed his hand a little bit. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see what happens with that. I think at this point, anything is possible. All right. Garrick here asks, do I think Jeff Johns is a good screenwriter? Yeah, I think he's okay. I think he's a good writer, a good creative, and he should stay in that role. Music Man here asks, what do I think will happen with DC films in the future? Fuck if I know, dude. Like, they're all over the place right now. It's like, it's multiverse this, it's multiverse that. We're going to have 2 concurrent Batmans, ladies. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. And I'll tell you this, though. I'll tell you this right now, man. Like, there's so many people I see on fucking Twitter that are just like, oh, Warner's has a plan. Fuck you. Fuck, they have a plan. They have no fucking plan. They've never had a once they got rid of Zach, they didn't have a fucking plan. Once they got rid of Zach, it was simply just like, let's try to patch up that whole situation and act like it never fucking happened. No, they never had a fucking plan, right? Like Kathleen Kennedy, I think, had more of a plan for Star Wars than Warner Brothers had for their DC projects, because they wanted to play catch up to Marvel. And they didn't understand the fundamentals of building a fucking universe. Never mind the fact, and I'm saying, and I'm being legit here, never mind the fact they already did that with Harry fucking Potter. 8 movies over the span of 10 years? Very consistent, billions upon billions of dollars. It was so good that Kevin Feige used it as a point of reference for creating the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So a Warner Brothers property, a Warner Brothers film series is what Kevin Feige, basically right now, the god of Hollywood, the god producer, the god king, anoint him golden child of Hollywood. The only one who's out there, he knows how to do all this shit. So much so that fans are like, hey, could he take over this project too? Could Feige chime in on this? You know, he influences people, and he himself was influenced by fucking Harry Potter. But yet, again, Warner's can't handle their shit. They don't know what the fuck they are. They influenced the biggest guy in Hollywood right now. They influenced him because they got it right and they weren't thinking about it. You know, they got it right. They had good source material and they played to the source material and they got it right. And he took that and he went with that and he created the MCU. But Warner Brothers cannot look at it internally and just go, oh, so if we honor the characters and we actually stick with it, we might actually make something. They just don't do that. They're too afraid of their own shadow. They're literally afraid of their own shadow. So anyway, let me just see here. Let me dive in. Okay. All right. Sad here says, people also said Zach would be begging on the streets, and guess what? Netflix gave him Army of the Dead, which Warner's rejected, and also got the Snyder Cut. There's hundreds of companies that can hire him. Yeah, 100%. Oh, okay. Music Man here says, I meant Walter and Emmerich. Yeah, I get you, man. I get you. There's that one. All right. Maybe Ray can do some voice acting. Yeah, no, he's got a voice, dude. He's got a voice. I'm telling you, man. All right. Do I think Keaton in the Flash will be a one-time thing? There's all those reports like, he's going to be the new Nick Fury. He's going to be this, he's going to be that. He's going to be everything I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens. I don't know what's going to be happening with that one. Let's see. Maybe Warner Brothers can get Comic Book Cast 2 to come up with the plan. They're just going to finish it in 3 minutes and call it a day. That's how quickly Armin puts out videos. He just my God, that man, I haven't watched a Comic Book Cast video in probably a year. I don't know. I don't know. I like the guy, but I don't know. I lost interest. Let's see. E equals MC. MCU says Kathleen Kennedy had more of a plan than Warner Brothers, and she didn't even know there was source material in Star Wars till a year ago. That's actually pretty fair fucking criticism, to be honest with you. Who was in charge when Ryan Reynolds got screwed to the whole Green Lantern thing? Fuck, I don't remember who was in charge back then. I know Emmerich was still running the show, but I forget who was in charge of DC Films back in 2011. I don't know. I really don't know. I wasn't paying that close attention back then. Let's see here. Xavier says, I agree with you. Ray may play a fictional hero as Cyborg, but the man is a real life hero, putting it all on the line in the name of equality and justice. I hope he prevails. And truth be told, Hollywood, like Hollywood Reporter, Deadline, Variety, all these blogs should be fucking salivating for a story like this, where they can actually like use it as a way to prop up an actual hero, an actor who is putting his career, his name, legacy on the line to fight for what is right. And these are the people that promote like the BLM protests and all that shit. And they're not like promoting a black man who's actually trying to stand up for something that's right. It just, to me, it's fucking hysterical. It shows you that in Hollywood, you don't bite the hand that feeds you. And in the case of the Hollywood Reporter, Variety, Deadline, all those other blogs, they access media types. They don't want to lose their access. They're absolutely fundamentally fucking afraid of losing their access. They're just like, oh God, no, please don't do it. Please don't do it. I don't know. I just can't. I can't lose it. But all behind the scenes, I guarantee you they talk a lot of shit. And I've talked to fucking reporters that will talk a lot of crap behind the scenes, right? They'll be like, oh, they hate me because I'm Mexican. I've heard that a lot too from a very specific person. They say this. They go, oh, they just hate me because I'm Mexican, or they hate me because of this. They hate me because of this. And then, but they still go to every event that they're invited to, and they take every perk that they fucking get. You know, so no, it's a whole bunch of whining behind the scenes, but never once actually coming on in and making the right call, right? Making the right play. All right, let's see here. Let me take, okay. How many times do you think Warner Brothers has tried to steal Kevin Feige from Disney and he's turned them down? I don't think they ever have, dude. He's happy where he is. He started off in Marvel. You know, he started working there. He's happy where he's at. He wants Star Wars. I guarantee you he wants Star Wars. And that's where he's moving, in my opinion. Where does the hate from Zack Snyder come from? People in like 2013 that liked Man of Steel but didn't think it was that great. They were pissed off at Batman v Superman because of the theatrical cut, in my opinion. Because of the theatrical cut was so bad. And that was Warner Brothers. Zack got screwed over. We all know this. But that all gets associated with him. They never look at the executives behind the scenes that forced Zack to cut out, to compromise 30 minutes of footage in order to fit in an extra screening per day. So they didn't do that, which is where they screwed up. So it's been, and then the fans came out and they're like, release a Snyder cut. And then the bloggers are like, no, we're the gatekeepers. And they got pissed off because they want to be the ones that control the power. These are the motherfuckers who want to wield the scepter, And like, look at it even goes to YouTubers as well. Look at the YouTubers that are out there like trying to lie to you and sell you fake narratives and sell you fake bullshit. They want to wield the scepter. They want the power because they want the attention. That's what it boils down to, folks. That's what it is. Resident Justice says, hey, I like Armin at comic. I like Armin too, but like the guy, he just like shits out videos. I don't know. When you ask Armin to give you an opinion, it's like a one-word response. And that's, I think, my biggest problem with it. It's like in his videos and you're like, all right, Armin, what do you think of this? And he's like, like it just doesn't come across to me as being anything. All right. Garrick, you're asking, have I read any of the High Republic? No, I haven't. I have both the audiobooks, and I need to dive in. But like I said, I'm unemployed for the next couple of weeks while I wait for my car to get fixed. So I'll be putting more time in on YouTube, more live streams, and trying to find a way to kind of like, do puppy dog eyes on people. Streamlabs.com/Rebecca Theater. Anyway. All right. So let's talk. There's a lot of comments here about everything. Let's see here. Okay. We'll do a quick transition question. Xavier here asks, do you think us fans making Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb accounts and writing our reviews for the audience scores and showing it to studios that there's a huge population that loves Zack Snyder's Justice League will help? I know Twitter is a big factor on that one. I know Twitter is a big factor. I know Twitter, they pay attention to that. Maybe Rotten Tomatoes, but Rotten Tomatoes now with the verified review scores, it is what it is. I'm not a big fan of that. IMDb might be the better place, I think, but everyone looks at like the front facing stuff, right? Everyone looks at where, the fucking, like the the retweeting of Rotten Tomatoes. It's the Metacritic shit is fucking terrible. And I don't know. I think Twitter and vocalizing your support, but it also has to translate into cash. If you can't find a way to bring in the cash, and that doesn't mean, and look, I'll be honest with you guys, that doesn't mean donating to AFSP. As good of a cause as that is, and as amazing as that is not going to make Warner Brothers any fucking money. It looks great on ink, and yet still never talked about by the media. Have you noticed that? They never talk about that. They never prop that up. They never prop it up at all. I don't want to sit there and go, collusion, fake news, but it feels like it because they don't ever fucking do it. Anyway, all right, just a random intelligent Drake here says, yeah, the 30 minutes of extra footage in BVS definitely fixes the plot, but it doesn't do anything for the people who dislike the version of the character Snyder put out. Hey, you know what? Here's the thing with that. The people who don't like what Snyder did with the characters fundamentally don't understand the characters. That is just the reality of it. I'm sorry. Like having a Christopher Reeve 1978 Superman in modern day doesn't hold. It just doesn't hold yet. You want these characters to be complex. They are designed and written after us. I mean, look at the fact that the X-Men is a commentary on the civil rights movement as well as the Holocaust. It's like there's commentary, there's social commentary to be made with those characters in their trials and their tribulations and their struggles. And having the character of Superman, a person who cannot be injured by anything from this planet, having him question his existence, question where his origin, where his loyalties lie, and just what it means to be human, and dealing with that is such a good way to look at the character. And Batman being old and bitter and cynical because what he has done hasn't yielded the results that he has wanted. What he has dedicated his life to has not yielded the results, and it has made him bitter and made him nihilistic and made him cynical. And he was going down a dark path, and then he meets the Man of Steel, and he sees something that he perceives to be a threat, a foreign invader, something that he can't control. So he does what we all do in those situations where we don't understand something. We try to fundamentally kill it. It is a staple of society, of the human condition. It is something that we do and we don't understand it. So he seeks out to find ways to make the man from another planet bleed, to hurt him, to bring him down, to destroy him, because that is what he understands. And through the process of that anger and that rage and that confusion and that misunderstanding, he ends up at the end discovering that Clark is good, is wholesome, is pure. And from there, that opens his eyes to where he's been wrong and why he wants to change what he has done. There is character growth in these movies that it's not even like hidden. There's not even fucking subtext there. A lot of it is quite literally on the fucking nose. But for some reason, all of these people have this ideation, this idea, this idolatry of these characters that they can never grow. They can never move on to something else, that they always just have to be stagnant and still. I'm sorry. I want there to be a rushing, raging river. I want there to be something that is constantly moving and growing and evolving. A stagnant pond only breeds toxicity because it's just the same fucking thing. And I love the fact that these movies have moved beyond that, that they've made these characters fundamentally more relatable and people who have growth that we witness. Marvel gave us all these characters over the span of a decade to grow, and we're getting a lot of cool things within a couple films from Snyder. So the people, and I'm saying this, the people out there who do not get what Snyder has done with these characters, who do not like what Snyder has done with these characters, just fundamentally do not want to open themselves up to the concept of being wrong about them. Anyway, that was my rant. That's my rant on that one. All right. Just my rant. And it's not against you, dude. It's Drake. It's not against you, man. I'm just saying, that's my rant about that. Because I deal with this crap all the time. People in the comments, oh my God, Man of Steel is a bad movie. BVS is a bad movie. Fuck you. No, they ain't. Fuck off. No, they ain't. They're good movies. Man of Steel's the shit, dude. Fucking both of his dads are Robin Hood. Okay. Eat a dick. Eat a fucking dick. All right. Anyway, it doesn't, yes. Okay. The Martha moment, the Martha moment. I love the Martha moment. I fucking love the Martha moment, baby. I think that is one of the finest moments in that movie, right? Because even though they had kind of established, right, like all the Martha imagery from Batman's mom, it never dawned on me that it was Martha Wayne. But I knew about Martha Kent. right? Like, and it didn't dawn on me. And like when they dropped that fucking pile of rocks on people, when they dropped that revelation and shit, I was all like, in the theater, I went, oh, their moms have the same name. And I was like, that's fucking dope. I love it, man. It's like my mom's name is Terrell. You know, my mom's name is Terrell with a T. And I've only met one other woman in my entire life named Terrell. And if my adversary, you know, had like a mom named Terrell, I'd kind of stop and go, oh, that's interesting. Like it would take me by surprise because it's just kind of a unique name, not one you hear very often. So I'm just saying, it's like, fuck I love the Martha moment. People who give it shit, that again, they look at it like it's a joke, but they don't understand the symbolism. They don't understand what Snyder was trying to say and why that revelation was just one of those things that kind of snapped him out of that fucking mode he was in. You know, Batman was in kill mode. And sorry, Keaton's Batman killed the fuck out of people in 2 movies. Ben Affleck does it a couple times in 1 movie and everyone loses their shit. But they go back to 89 and 91 and everyone's like, oh my God, I love those movies. And Batman straight shoots people, puts a bomb in their pants, blows up an Acme chemical factory with explosives and shit, you know, and it's like, that's fine. But Affleck does it and apparently there's a fucking problem. It's just, there's a whole bunch of stupid ass fucking hypocrisy that comes from these fucking fights. And I'm not saying anything here with you guys is the reason with that. I'm just saying that in general, a lot of these people are fucking stupid. They're just fucking stupid. And you know what? They're probably fandom menacers. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Anyway, no, I like Batman killing is like, it is what it is, man. Like, you know, I don't think Batman should aim to kill, but the thing is, like, you watch him beat the shit out of people. All right. Like internal bleeding is a thing. Long-term, like, you know, like physical therapy is a thing. When he hangs somebody upside down from the rafters, how long are they there? How long did the blood rush to their head? Did they die from brain bleed? You know, when he put someone through a wall, did they crack a rib? Did they puncture a lung? Did they destroy a spleen? I think it's absolutely ridiculous to not talk about the levels of violence and destruction against the human body that Batman implements on some of these people. We never talk about that. We never talk about that. He fucks people up. His whole thing is the Dark Knight, is he fucks people up, you know? And it's like, no one ever sits there and go, oh yeah, no, he broke that dude's arm. Like, that's okay. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't kill him, but maybe he did. You know, maybe he threw someone through a window and they got cut and they didn't have health insurance and they weren't able to get it treated. So then it becomes infected. It gets sepsis. They have to have it amputated, but they're not able to do it properly. They go to some fucking low end doctor who, you know, mostly just deals out like heroin to fucking druggies and shit. And then the doctor is not able to get the infection. It becomes gangrenous. And then the person ends up dying because the infection goes to their heart. How many people has Batman inadvertently killed throughout the years? That's a question, right? But we don't ever want to talk about that. We never want to talk about Batman and his death count. That's all I'm saying. We never want to talk about that. We never want to bring up how many people he has put in fucking traction. You know, like what is the healthcare system of Gotham? All right. Is it single payer? Is it public option? I mean, as a fucking henchman, does the Penguin give you a fucking $500 deductible, decent coverage? Do you get dental with any of that shit? What about optical? You know, I mean, it's so ridiculous when we start breaking down the concept of what goes into the human body and being beaten by a man who is angry with a lot of weaponry. And then, you know, the healthcare to bring these people back. And here's the thing. It's fucking comic books. So it's not real. But we treat these characters like they're real. We treat the characters like they're real. But we don't actually sit there and have the conversation about all that shit. That's all I'm saying. Anyway. Hey, you know, here's the thing. There's a fucking 100 of you in here right now. Slap on that like if that made you chuckle. All right. Slap on that like a little bit. Fucking show a little love. All right. Let me take a look here at the next thing I had lined up to talk about. A couple things we're bringing up here. So I do want to talk really quickly before we dive into the other stuff. We found out today that Julie Strain, who was a heavy metal queen of B movies, has passed away. She's been battling dementia for a while, and she died actually a couple days ago after it. She described herself as, I'm the chick that they call when they want a gun-toting Amazon bitch, Barbarella merciless bitch with a machine gun. Or bitch with a machine gun. Vampires, witches, sorceresses, double agents. That's what I do. And I like to headbutt people in fights and kick them and spit on them and bust them in the balls. And to a lot of people out there, Julie Strain is not well known. I knew Julie Strain this is like, I saw her for the very first time. This is literally true. When I was a teenager, she had a special that was on Playboy TV, and my uncle, who sadly passed away about 9 years ago, had they had a black box. Okay, they had a black box, and I would ask them to record pay-per-view movies, and so my aunt would just put it on before going to bed, record, right, and then my uncle would get up in the middle of the night and he'd turn on like Playboy or the Spice Channel, like you do. And as a result, that's where I first got introduced to Julie Strain as a teenager. Very alluring, very, very alluring with her. And then I met her a couple times at Comic-Con. She actually ended up marrying Kevin Eastman, the co-creator of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And she was the voice of the main character in Heavy Metal 2000, which is not as good as Heavy Metal. The original Heavy Metal is the shit. I love that movie. But Heavy Metal 2000 was very interesting. And she did really good in the role. And she, I think, was like a model for heavy metal for quite some time. She did a bunch of stuff. Anyway, there are a lot of actors and actresses out there that you may not know about, you may never hear about, but their contributions to their niche, to their genre, are usually pretty paramount. And in the case of this, Julie Strain was one of those types of people. And you know what? I just wanted to give her a little bit of a tribute here. I wanted to talk about her a little bit because, you know what? I respect her as an actor, respect her as a model. Liked her when I was a teenager. I'll let you infer from that what you will. But it is sad that she passed away. It is sad that she passed away. I just wanted to, again, give a little bit of attention to that one. So there is that. John here says, so do I delete my Julie Strain collection? No. Like, why would you delete it? I mean, now would be the time to kind of revisit it. If when a celebrity dies, I'm just going to be a dick and say it. When a celebrity dies, people profit greatly off of their memory, When a musician dies, their music goes to the top of the charts because everyone is buying it to celebrate their life. So at this point, you don't delete your Julie Strain collection. You really just kind of work out that arthritis. You know what I'm saying? You work through the pain. You pay your tribute in crumpled up napkins. Anyway, yeah, rip Julie Strain. That's pretty sad, man. If you guys haven't seen Heavy Metal 2000, she was in 2000, not the original Heavy Metal. But there's that. Okay, she divorced Kevin Eastman in 2007. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know they got divorced, but when I met her, she was married to him. So there's that. Anyway, it is sad that she passed away. So I just wanted to give a little bit of a shout out on that one there. A little story people aren't really talking about. But here's another kind of crazy one. Diving into the concept of back to Star Wars here. Liam Neeson is saying that he would return to Star Wars, but he wonders if the franchise is starting to fade away. Which is kind of funny because it's a bit of a clickbait headline. It's a bit of a clickbait title there. When asked about the possibility of coming back as Qui-Gon Jinn for like a limited series or maybe popping up in the Obi-Wan series, he said it was for it. And then, of course, he says maybe he's wondering if it's starting to fade away from cinema, basically from cinema. And then they're like, no, but it's going to Disney Plus. It's carrying on. He's like, oh, those are spinoffs. He's like, oh, well, if they're spinoffs, then count me in. So he's clearly on board to come back as Qui-Gon Jinn. He is clearly on board to come back. And I don't know about you. I would really, really, really love to see him come back as Qui-Gon. I feel like his character, as one movie with him 21 years ago, almost 22 years ago now, it still lives on. People still like him in the role. And to see him come back and kind of do maybe like while Obi-Wan was learning to like become a Force ghost, we get a bit of that idea. We get a bit of that stuff from like that perspective would be pretty cool. And I would be down for that. I would be really, really, really down to see more of Qui-Gon. Cause I love the character of Qui-Gon Jinn. I just really love it. So there's that one here. I'm also bringing up a weird story. This was sent to me today. I kind of want to rant about it because I find it to be just like utterly stupid. And it's just, come on, like there's no way anyone would believe this. But then looking at the Star Wars fandom and what people believe these days. Who fucking knows, guys? Really, who knows? So there's a story coming out of We Got This Covered. Someone sent me this today, and they're like, you got to talk about this, Matt. And I'm like, okay, what is it here? Oh, Lucasfilm reportedly under pressure to drop Luke Skywalker and the Baby Yoda storyline. From fucking who is my question right off the bat. I'm just going to drop an F-bomb on that one. From fucking who? Who in their right mind is sitting there going like, we don't want you to do Grogu and fucking Luke Skywalker. Do you know my girlfriend bought another fucking Baby Yoda yesterday? She went to Target and she found a mid-size one, right? Like a mid-size plushie for like $20, and she brought home another Baby Yoda. That puts my Baby Yoda count to 5. I have got 6. I've got 6 Baby Yodas in my house right now. Fuck that shit. I want more Grogu. I want more Luke Skywalker. Eat my fucking ass after I've had a burrito if you think that this is something that anyone is going to want. But let's see what they have to say. They say, the word behind the scenes of Star Wars conspiracy theories is up there with QAnon for being completely, oh my God, We Got This Covered is talking about QAnon and the negative. Motherfuckers, you guys give Doomcock fucking like screen space on your goddamn fucking website. Fuck off. For being completely insane and mostly impossible to understand. So anyway, but it boils down to the basics. A small but loud group of fans fervently believe that Lucasfilm is violently divided at all times. Their claims range from baseless rumors about Pedro Pascal, Grace Randolph. Now, the latest rumor is a real head scratcher for those who follow this stuff, and an extremely circuitous article by WDW Pro, which, again, those guys, they fucking get talked about. Clownfish TV talks about them. Nerdrotics talks about them. Doomcock will bring them. The Fandom Menace will like latch onto that stuff and just like suckle its taint. They do this all the time. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. But again, they legitimize this by going, well, it could be real. Well, it could be true. The rumors are saying, you guys, the rumors is like, fuck you. It's like 4chan level shit. But anyway, the site's claiming that there's immense pressure from within the company to ditch Luke Skywalker and Baby Yoda storyline from all future plans. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you joking with me on this one here? Do you really think anyone out there? Here's the thing. If you guys in the chat right now, like I said, there's close to like 95 people watching. If you guys want them to get rid of, if you guys want them to keep Luke and Grogu, press 1. If you guys want them to get rid of it, press 2. I guarantee you the ones will have it here, because this is ridiculously stupid to even remotely think for a second that they would want this. And the thing is, it's like, this isn't like We Got This Covered making it up out of thin air. This is them pulling from another source. This is all that clickbait, fucking ecosystem of circle jerking that they all do, right? This is how it operates. This is what it is. It's so dumb. It's so dumb to even to even like entertain this. It's like, this stuff needs to be called out, because are you kidding me? People legitimately cried when I cried when Luke Skywalker came back. I cried. I was tearing the fuck up from like the moment the X-Wing landed in the docking bay and Grogu's ears perked up. I was crying. All right. So are you kidding me? This is so stupid. And again, I was right. The eyes have it in the chat, 100%. Teddy Duck, we're going to be talking about that here in a second, 100%. So I just wanted to bring that up because someone sent me that earlier and I wanted to kind of like rant about that a little bit here. And so yeah, there's all that stuff that's coming down the pipeline. But all right, let's jump into the next thing here that I wanted to bring up, and we're kind of coming close to the end, and we'll do a little Q&A stuff. But Star Wars has announced that EA is no longer the sole publisher of Star Wars games. That Lucasfilm's Games has in fact teamed up with Ubisoft's Massive in order to work on an open world, story-driven Star Wars game. And if you have played Ubisoft games, you know for a fact what you're in for. Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, The Division, Watch Dogs. Their open world games are basically all about the same kind of crap. It's awesome. I play all of their open world games. I'm actually working on Watch Dogs Legion right now. I've got Valhalla, which I'm looking forward to playing. And I basically buy every game that's coming out. But I will say this though, and I've said this for a long time. For Honor, the 4-year-old samurai knight and ninja. No, it's a samurai Viking ninja. No, sorry. Like You guys know the game I'm talking about here. But like that kind of fighting game would be great for Star Wars. And that's a Ubisoft title. And Ubisoft shares resources amongst all of its divisions. So, yeah, boy. So what does this mean? This effectively means that the developers of The Division and The Division 2, which have done story-driven multiplayer games, I don't want to call it massive multiplayer, but multiplayer nonetheless, for The Division and The Division 2, are working on an open-world story-driven Star Wars game. Does this mean that it's going to be an online-centric world? Probably. If I have to be fair, it's probably going to be some kind of online experience where there's going to be raids, where there's going to be multiplayer, where there's going to be character creation. I have a feeling that's what it's ultimately going to be, because that does fall in line with what Ubisoft does. Now, I have my concerns. My concerns ultimately boil down to this. The most recent batches of Ubisoft's open world games, like Ghost Recon Breakpoint, and Watch Dogs Legion, and even Assassin's Creed Valhalla, have had problems at launch. They're three of their major IPs have not been ready when they have come out, and it's been kind of my copy of Watch Dogs Legion. It was kind of iffy to play for a while. The updates have made it work a lot better, but I have my own problems with the game. Same with Ghost Recon Breakpoint. It just, again, lots of problems, very vanilla. And I'm letting Assassin's Creed kind of work its way up a bit more, because I love Assassin's Creed. It's like my favorite one of the franchises. So it's like I'm a little bit concerned. But even The Division, which was a bit vanilla when it launched 5 years ago, went on with updates and everything else, and raids and all that stuff to have to develop a very strong community, and very much to expand. Now, what this does mean, just to be on what you guys may not know about this, is what this does mean is that EA is still going to publish certain games. So Jedi Fallen Order 2, whatever they're going to be doing with Battlefront, and probably Star Wars Squadrons, all right, and like I think Galaxy of Heroes or whatever else they're working on. They're still going to create content for Star Wars. But with Lucasfilm also putting Indiana Jones, which we'll talk about, over at Bethesda, it goes to show you that there is quite a bit, that they are starting to branch out a bit, that they have taken the concept of Lucasfilm's games, while they're not bringing back LucasArts, and they're not giving us the Scum engine, which is I think is a big misstep for mobile games, if you want my honest opinion. I really think that giving the creators of maybe like Dead Cells or something, the developers of Dead Cells who have done 2D, or maybe Hollow Knight or whatever, like a 2D side scroller sort of thing, and allowing us to go back into, let's say, Guybrush Threepwood, Escape from Monkey Island worlds, or maybe a Maniac Mansion or something, would be amazing. And they need to give us that as well. As an old school LucasArts fans, I'd even take a Full Throttle reboot. Give me TIE Fighter versus X-Wing, or X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. You know, there was like the Rebel Alliance games. All those old FMV fucking shooters that they did back in the day, you know, like those are the games I want to see more of, but I'm down for whatever they're going to be coming up with this one. Darth Tasty here says we need another Knights of the Old Republic. Well, that would be EA and Bethesda. They're still working on the Old Republic, but yeah, give me KOTOR 3. God damn it. Give me KOTOR 3. I'm 100%. A new Kyle Katarn Adventures. Yeah. Dark Forces 3. Give us another Jedi Academy. I mean, they rebooted it. Well, they remastered it kind of. They ported it for like, you know, last generation and the Switch, and the game, it does pretty well. People still like playing it, and those are a lot of fun. Those are the kind of games people want to play more of. Shadow of the Empire. I mean, you know, like a Dash Rendar game. Give us something, right? Give us something. People want to go back to that stuff, and that's where it should be. So let's see. Keji here says, easy, dude. The brand just got formed. It will be a while before we can see what anyone else could be done. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I'm an old school LucasArts guy. I fucking love the Scum engine. If you've never played Escape from Monkey Island or Indiana Jones and The Fate of Atlantis, those games are classic, and they are great, and they are fun. And I think they would stand the test of time, and to be remastered and to be remade with the Scum engine intact. There's a reason why us old school fucking gamers, man, why we love that shit. And that's a big reason. That's a big reason there. Anyway. Let's see. Do I want Star Wars 1313 to come back? I would like to see it. Yeah. I think it'd be pretty cool to see. I'd be okay to see that, but I don't think it's going to happen, man. I just don't think it's going to happen. I'm hoping that we get something with it, but I don't know yet. But all right. So finally, this is what's kind of in line with this one, right? This is in line with everything that we've been hearing. What we've got is get your fedoras and your whips ready for a new Indiana Jones game. Lucasfilm Games and Bethesda Softworks are working on a standalone adventure starring the legendary archaeologist. That's right, a standalone adventure starring the legendary archaeologist. And of course, they're going to tie in for the 2022 release of the film. They're going to tie in for that, so that's going to be pretty great. Let me actually hold on. I want to bring up something here real quick. But here's the thing. So it's Bethesda Machine Games, right? And so it's Bethesda Machine Games, who is the one that is going to be working on this game. And so those are the guys who did, they did the Wolfenstein 1 and 2. And those are like, the first Wolfenstein was fantastic. The second Wolfenstein wasn't as good. It was still fun, like gameplay wise, but I felt like I kind of felt like, it just wasn't as good as it could have been, more all things considered. And so that's unfortunate there. But at the same time, I think those guys are going to be good to develop this game. But there's a problem, especially if you are a Bethesda fan, if you are a Bethesda Studios fan, if you know the name I'm going to be bringing up, the name that I'm going to be bringing up, and you're probably not going to be happy. But that, of course, is straight up. Todd Howard is going to be the executive producer on this movie. Yeah, it's going to be there. It's crazy. It's so ridiculously stupid, but I know it's Todd Howard, after everything that's happened with Fallout and with everything else with Bethesda, I know. It's terrible, but we have to deal with it because that is just, of course, the world that we find ourselves in. This is how corporations work. But the thing to consider, though, is that it probably will not be an Xbox exclusive. I think it's probably going to end up being a multi-plat just because they are going to want to make the most money that they can. And that, to me, is perfectly fine. If it is a standalone movie, if it is a standalone game exclusive to the Xbox, then I will 100% get my hands on it. I'm just I don't care. I was going to go for get the PS5, but Indiana Jones, if it's an Xbox exclusive, it's got my money. I'm just saying, like, that's just the reality of it there. Okay, and I found the last thing I wanted to bring up here. It took me a second to find. I had to dig for it on Twitter. This apparently is going to be the 4K box art for Indiana Jones. I don't know if this is a fan creation. This is what I've seen floating around. I absolutely love the design. I would love that as a poster on my wall, framed it on my wall. As much as I love Star Wars, Indiana Jones is my jam. Raiders is my all-time favorite movie. And I'm buying I get a new Samsung TV coming in tomorrow that I spend not all my stimulus, some of my stimulus money on. And so I can watch 4K in a much better presentation. And I want this so bad. I want it so bad. All right. So let's chit chat for a few more minutes before I wrap this thing up. That was good. Let's see here. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull isn't worth owning in 4K. That's a fucking lie. You can take that back right now. That's very true. Wendy Williams says here, excuse me, sir, I just have one thing to say. Fuck Jeff Johns. Yep. All right. Let's see here. When will the indie films go to Disney Plus? I think they're on Hulu. Or are they on Netflix still? I know they were on Hulu for a while. I don't know if they're still there, but it all depends. Probably sometime this year, I would assume. But I'm going to buy the collection, man. Like, I want to invest more into physical media now more than ever. And I think a lot of that has to do with, like, again, today being without power for 14 hours, without internet. I had a little like AC, like a little portable battery unit that could power my TV, but I have an internet smart TV. So what the fuck's it good for, And like all of my laptop didn't have any movies on it, so I couldn't like download anything to a thumb drive. So I have to like make sure I have like a power outage kit for not only my kids but for my own sanity. and like having these movies and like, they should find a way to allow us to have the digital format version that's not connected to the web. And the fact is, like, you have to almost resort to piracy to get it, which is unfortunate. But at the same time, it's like, today I could have used something like that, where if I would have had it, I could have plugged in my USB drive to my TV and watched something to help keep my family sane during the time we were out. Let's see here. Garrick asks, are you concerned about Patty Jenkins directing Rogue Squadron? Part of me is, yeah, a little bit. Like, I'll admit it. I'm a little bit iffy on the matter. But that being said, I'm not gonna like not watch it. I'm gonna give her a shot. All right. I think she got a little bit too ahead of herself with Wonder Woman 84. I think she had a little bit too much free reign to do it, and she ain't gonna get that with fucking Star Wars. She ain't gonna get that at all with Star Wars. They'll give her some creative ability, but they ain't gonna but it's also not tied into an established franchise. So I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. Geek Studios here says, I literally cut the cord today. Finally. Congratulations, dude. I've been a cord cutter for 10 years now, 11 years now, almost. And, I have no desire to have TV. I'll get calls from Comcast and they're like, do you want a new bundle? We'll make you, do this. We'll make you, we'll give you these deals. And I'm like, I don't want to pay for cable television. I don't ever watch it. Why don't you just give me a cheaper internet and like keep your phone bundle and shove it up your ass? Cause I don't want any of this. And I did their phone bundle last year. I did. I was paying $140 a month for literally cable internet and a fucking phone line. And the fucking phone line is tied to the internet. So today when my power was out and my internet was out, I couldn't make any phone calls if I still had that service, which I got rid of like a while back. So it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous, the money they charge you for these bundles. And so, no, they could take it, shove it square up their rectum. Let's see. Joshua here says, I would prefer a soft reboot of Indiana Jones over a reboot or remake. Yeah, like a passing of the torch sort of thing. I'd be okay with that too. Or like a young Indiana Jones adventure sort of situation, but we go back to like World War II or something, and get Nathan Fillion to finally play the role. All right, let's see here. Never mind. It turns out Paramount still owns the 4 indie films, Disney owning the future movies. Oh, I see. Okay. Did I see Gina Carano on Drunk 3PO? I saw a clip floating around Twitter and I saw Gina's like, everyone's got to have their own opinion. We got to let people have their own opinion. And I'm like, bitch, you fucking blocked me for explaining to you the Pennsylvania legislature choices for how they counted mail-in voting. You're a Republican. I explained to you how your own party like kind of effed over the state and you blocked me for it. So, like, don't go out there and whine about everyone needs their fucking free speech and whatever. Like, look, I don't care about being blocked by Gina Carano, but, it's like she only fucking talks to people that suck her dick. So let's be fair. That's all it is. She only talks to people that suck her dick. That's all it is. And I'm fine with that too. Celebrities are going to do that kind of crap. But like this, I just find it to be fucking funny. And again, it's like people that are like, I got a lot of messages from people when I called out Star Wars Theory in that video for like siding with the Fandom Menace and platforming the Fandom Menace. He's actually lost a lot of support from people, privately at least, because they're like, why are you platforming these people? They're terrible. In that video where I called out Midnight's Edge, I got actually commented on by a dude I know in real life who works with Midnight's Edge occasionally. And like, I filled him the hell in. I'm like, this is, they used to be good. And then this happened. And then he's like, well, I'll take a look at what you're saying. I'm like, all right, we'll see if he says anything back or not. I don't think he will. But he hasn't unfriended me on Facebook, and we've known each other for like 10, 11 years now. Anyway, does the Fandom Menace still annoy me? No, not really. They're feckless now. They're mostly feckless. They have no, look, here's the thing. When The Mandalorian was good, the first season started like diminishing the Fandom Menace. And then when the Clone Wars season 7 had that mid section that was kind of bad, then that kind of reinvigorated them a little bit. Like, we have something to hate. But then when the Siege of Mandalore was fucking amazing, they had nothing to hate on. And then we didn't really have anything. And then we get Mandalorian season 2, which is right, so good, so great. And then from there we get the High Republic, which from everything I've heard, people seem to really like it. But they're out there trying to say it's woke and whatever. So they're trying to attack it And like, no one cares. Like, no one cares. You know, they come out, Star Wars Only finally came out and did a video calling out the bullshit yesterday. Fucking fine. I know how he's felt for a long time because we've talked about it privately and I'm pretty sure even a bit publicly. But he finally came out and just struck back against this nonsense because that's how it is. If you love Star Wars, if you love Marvel or DC, if you love any fandom and you know people are pushing fake news, you've got to stand up and say something about it. And it's like the thing with the Fandom Menace is they're in a cult. You know, Donald Trump losing the election is another thing that's going to fuck them up because they need something to be a victim over. Oh my God, we're mostly white men. Oh, we're so oppressed. And I say that jokingly because I know someone's going to maybe clip that and like misattribute it or some shit. I say that jokingly, but it is they have become victims constantly. What it is like they're upset for the sake of being upset. They work themselves up into a tizzy. And then they get mad at themselves, or they get mad because they've allowed themselves to get mad. It's all a game. And I get people send me messages all the time saying that the Fandom Menace is like, it's eating itself alive. I don't watch any of their content. I'm not subbed to any of their channels. I have friends who fucking hate them, who watch everything they put out. And I'm like, I don't hate watch people's content. I don't hate watch people's content. It's not worth it to me. I get no value out of it. There's no nutritional value to watch content from someone who I vehemently despise on a human level. I'm not looking for something to make me angry. I live in the age of Trump, and pardon me for getting political, I'm still pissed off about the fucking Capitol insurgency from the last week. So if I need to get angry at anything, I can just turn on the news and watch a bunch of feckless Republicans in Congress whining about don't impeach the president because we're trying to heal. No, bitch, you're trying to fucking sweep over or sweep away something that you directly fucking pushed in regards to election fraud and all this crap that doesn't exist. So if I want to get angry, I can go watch politics. When I want to watch movies, I want to be happy. I want to be chill. That's what I want to do. That's what I end up doing. That's where I hang out. So no, I don't hate watch these people because I don't want to give them a moment of my time because nothing they say has value. Nothing they say advances the conversation. Nothing they say ever does anything other than sow division and push anger in order to keep people, as I've said before, ill-educated, ill-informed, and ignorant. And I would much rather have conversations that do not engage in such tomfoolery or bullshittery. Flat the fuck out. And I think a lot of you here, the near 100 of you that are here, a lot of you are in that same boat. You're tired of it. You don't want to see it. You want actual, honest, passionate, legitimate conversation. Not being fed bullshit in order to make you feel something. Because it's a cult at this point. It's an absolute cult. And I'd like to find ways to break that in 2021, which is why I'm hyped as fuck for WandaVision tomorrow night. I got my TV coming in. I'm going to sit in bed. I'm going to watch it on 4K. I'm going to make a review of it. Don't quite know yet how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. And then I'm going to want to talk to you guys about it and have fun talking about it. But you can already tell that there's certain people that are looking for any little thing that they can find to destroy something that they did not do anything to create. And that to me is the biggest sin. That's the biggest fucking sin. When you completely live your life to tear down something you did not in any way build, that you did not in any way add to, when you did not in any way find yourself involved in, it shows how just insipid your fucking existence is. It really does. When you do nothing but want to destroy what others have built, what does that say about you as a human? What does it say about you and your desire to leave a legacy? Do you want to be known as a person who creates art or a person who critiques it and attempts to destroy it because you want to just make a quick anger-fueled dollar? That is where I'm at. I would rather create art. I would rather support art and artists, and I would rather find ways to be excited for what makes them happy, find ways to live through their passion, whether it's vicarious or not, and then also apply it to the things I want to create as an artist and put that out there into the world. That is where I stand. That is what I believe in. And I think a lot of you out there do the exact same thing, but we deal with these people, these emotionally vapid, just institutionalized fucking morons that all they want to do is sell you anger in order to keep you glued to something of which you do not need to be mad over. And there are tons of people you can talk to that are like, why am I mad at this? Like, ask yourself a question the next time you watch one of their videos. Why am I mad at this? Why do I feel this way? Why am I feeling the way that I'm feeling? And I guarantee you, when you take 3-4 steps back and you look at it objectively and broadly, you'll be like, oh my God, that's not even that big of a fucking deal. There's a lot more going on in this world than whether or not Kathy Kennedy and fucking Jon Favreau are having fights at fucking Lucasfilm. There's a goddamn fucking pandemic that's killed nearly 400,000 fucking Americans. Sorry, my priorities are in a lot different fucking places right now. Anyway, I'm sorry. I don't want to go on a rant on that shit. I'm just saying that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. And I would have no problem going into a live stream or going onto a call with any of these people and eviscerating them for the bullshit that they fucking push. Flat out. I don't care. I don't care. I have no reason to be kind. I have no reason to pull my punches. I have no reason to give them any fucking quarter, because I have to deal with the fallout from their fallacies. That's the other part of this too. That's what pisses me off. I have to deal with the fallout from their fallacies. They're fucking indoctrinated, fucking Kool-Aid drinking fucking chuckle fucks that do nothing but spread bullshit around the web in their names. I have to deal with that. So yeah, I got a little bit of fucking anger on that regard, because I don't like dealing with ignorant people who don't understand what the fuck they're talking about. And I do it all the time talking on the internet. That's just the way it is. Doesn't mean I like it. But the people that spew the bullshit, they're the ones that I think need to be held to account. 100%. 100% need to be held to account. I don't know how you would do it. I don't know how you would do it. Their audience is not going to fucking leave the echo chamber. And outside of YouTube just taking them out back and beating them with a stick, it ain't going to fucking happen. And I don't really want that either. Right? I'd love them to have some accountability and actually like be honest actors, but they're not, because there's no money in being honest. There's just no money in being honest, like at all. Doomcock. I would go for Doomcock over Nerdrotic. Because I want to get to the Commandant thing. Anyway, all right. Sorry, that was a long rant. I apologize. All right, Garrick here saying woke and woman is so cringe. I know, dude. I know. It's just woman. Oh my God, half the population. Let's just diminish them to a fucking joke. You know, I'm not even like a social justice warrior, but God, it's not hard to understand equality. You know, it's not hard to understand that shit. It's just fucking stupid. All right. So that Midnight's Edge dude is hilarious. His ominous music. Yeah, it worked really well like back in the day with their Deadpool videos. I was like, ooh, that's creepy. I don't know why. It's like Deadpool Reddit leaks. Go fucking figure. That's the biggest one for me that sucks, is that the fact that Midnight's Edge has gone the way that they've gone. Andre's a smart guy. I like Andre quite a bit. I like Rob too. Tom's a cuck, but you know, whatever. And the fact that like, you know, Mecha Random like threatened to fucking file litigation against me, tagged the FBI on Twitter trying to claim harassment, and they defended her, is just like fucking sickening. It's fucking sickening that the people that they defend, because they don't want to lose their meal ticket. Yeah, well, Brian, they are dipshits. They are absolute dipshits. But you know, I mean, look, I'll be honest, man. Like, people out there get bad takes, okay? And I heard you talking on Max's stream the other day, and you know, like, we should have conversations about the insurrection last week, because, like, yeah, I had thoughts about things that you said. But it's one of those things where it's like, they're dipshits. They say wrong things. We all say wrong things occasionally, but it's the understanding when we say the wrong things. It's to try to keep an open mind for when we're wrong, you know, and that's a factor that a lot of us don't do because of ego. I have the same problem, I'll admit. I'm trying to be better about it, but it is what it is. Anyway. Do I think that the Star Wars theory played up the Pablo Hidalgo drama for clicks? Oh my God, 100%. Oh man, 100% he did. He absolutely did. It was crazy, dude. Like, who cares, man? It was behind a fucking, it was behind a blocked account or a privated account. Who cares? Who cares? How much of a baby do you have to be to get mad at that? People have literally sent me photos with like my face covered in their cum. In their cum, they fucking did jizz tributes to me. I had one dude send me a photo of my face down the barrel of a gun. He was pointing a gun at my Twitter avatar, right? I didn't fucking run and like do a fucking stream and like fucking milk that shit for fucking money. I've had death threats mailed to my fucking house, handwritten. I give him credit for that, the handwritten part, you know? I've been swatted. I've had actual shit fucking happen to me. And he's out there crying about 5 fucking words or 4 fucking words from a privated Twitter account. Oh my God, how big of a bitch? How big of a bitch do you have to be? That's what it boils down to. And I would outright say it to him in fucking person. Like, how big of a fucking bitch do you have to be to cry about that? Unless you're trying to milk it for fucking money. Oh, you're doing it during December, during the highest ad revenue month of the season. Oh, okay. Yeah, there's nothing sinister about that, or a little bit sketchy in regards to what's going on. It's so stupid. It's so fucking stupid, you guys. It's just playing it up because they're just trying to emotionally manipulate their audience, you know? And the thing is, the dude makes a lot of fucking money. He makes a lot of fucking money. He doesn't have to do that, but he chooses to. He chooses to. You know? I mean, it's the same thing with a lot of the other grifters on YouTube, right? They know the truth, but they don't want to ever play it up because they know that they're just going to be wrong. They don't want to ever be honest with you because they don't earn as much money. And then if you criticize them on it, they'll say, I have a higher sub count, I have more view count, I make more money. They will list off those 3 reasons as the reason why they are right. That is not an argument. In no modern society is that a cognizant argument that would hold up under any actual debate ruling. It's just a deflection of everything. Let's see here. Richard says, thank you. He's a baby. He is a baby. He looks like a baby. He's a big bald-headed baby. If I ever met him in person, I'd say that too. I might be a short fucking balding fat fuck, but I would still call him a baby to his face. No, it's not that they've become Trump supporters, Eddie. They have always been Trump supporters. If you look at what Donald Trump does in regards to what Jeremy does, it's very similar. He mimics him very much. He mimics him quite a bit. He knows I've said this before, and that's a smart thing that he does. I don't agree with it because he's effectively lying to his audience, but he's been doing that anyway. But he knows that he's lying to his audience, and he doesn't care. He doesn't care about any of those people. He doesn't give a shit. None of them actually give a shit. Period. They don't care. Let's see. Joshua here says, how is Star Wars political? Since when has toxic feminism and liberal political agenda been the center of Star Wars? It hasn't been. But because a woman runs Star Wars and she wore the Force is Female t-shirt one time, which by the way was a Nike slogan, people found ways to just politicize it and weaponize it. And you know what? Here's the thing, man. I'll fully admit, I fucking did a little bit of that myself. You know, when you're looking for that edge to talk about something, it happens. I've done it too. And it's nothing at the time I didn't realize, you know, but as I got older, I moved away from it. I had kids. I had girls specifically. It's something that, you start to pay more attention to. Let's see here. Jaro says, I don't think he milked it, but he genuinely got hurt. No, I don't. The cancer charity stuff, dude, that's not a fucking defense. I'm so tired of that being a defense. That's not a defense against criticism. Is it a good thing that he did? Yeah, sure, 100%. In no way would I criticize the act. But when people use it as a shield from criticism, then doesn't that diminish the entire point of doing it? If you're looking to raise money for St. Jude or whatever the fuck it was he raised money for, and then when people criticize him, they go, whoa, hold on, I raised money for kids with cancer because I had cancer. It's like, but, and then that diminishes like the criticism. Isn't that stupid? Because one of these things is not like the other. All right. They're not mutually like it's just so dumb. What do y'all think about Geeks and Gamers? I'm not a fan, but I've been open about that. Arkham here asks, what's your favorite DC characters other than Batman? And are you reading the DC Future Slate? I might read the 5G Initiative, whatever they're calling it now. I do want to get into reading more comics and like reviewing comics more like just conversationally, because I'm looking for things to get hyped out over. And I've just been, I've been trying to like write more and like do longer form, like video essays or more like just kind of like long form podcasting. And yeah, I want to like do more with that. I have fun with that. I like getting into it, researching, reading, like that was the cool thing is during the power outage, I save a bunch of Wikipedia articles to Instapaper and it auto has them. So I just laid in bed and I was able to read Wikipedia, which I liked because I like that kind of stuff. The Quartering is the worst of them all. He's pretty bad. Yeah. And I've met him. He's a dick. Let's see here. I should stream with Colin Moriarty and Chris Ray-Gun. I am friends with Chris Ray-Gun. I have been ever since 2014. I miss hanging out with that guy. He's pretty busy. Colin, yeah, I like Colin quite a bit too. He unfollowed me when I started criticizing Tulsi Gabbard on Twitter though. So I thought that was pretty funny. Let's see here. What is my favorite Adult Swim shows? Probably Robot Chicken and Metalocalypse. I do love C-Lab 2021. I do love the first couple seasons of Aqua Teen. I feel the later seasons kind of sucked. And I'm pissed off when it comes to Metalocalypse because they never got to finish it up. And I think that's pretty lame. Am I excited for the Bad Batch? Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Firesonic asks, what are my thoughts on the I'm Not Starfire comic? I have not heard of it, unfortunately. I'm sorry. Garrick here asks, are you more excited for Moon Knight or the Hawkeye show? Probably Moon Knight, but I do love me some Hawkeye, and I like Haley Steinfeld, and I want to see Kate Bishop in action, so that's gonna be pretty good. Let's see here. Joshua says, I'm a Trump supporter and I hate the Fandom menace. I don't understand how there are so many things with this post that I would love to dive into if I had more time, but I get you. I get you, Joshua. All right. I get it. I have so many questions I have. So many questions, but I get it, dude. And I thank you I thank you for your opinion. Okay. I'm not bashing you or anything like that. I just have so many thoughts. I just have so many. Oh God. Oh Jesus. Oh my God. Am I excited for the Bad Batch? Yeah, I'm very much excited for that. I really liked the preview we saw. All right. What do I think of Terminator Salvation? I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. I have no desire to go back and watch it again. I would probably rather watch Terminator Genesis again than, no, I'd rather watch Salvation again because of Anton Yelchin and Christian Bale and Bryce Dallas Howard. And I thought it was fun, but I would rather watch Dark Fate again because I think I do like Dark Fate quite a bit. But I also love Terminator 3, so there's that. Oh, I did read it twice. I'm getting tired, dude. I'm getting real tired. It's been a long day. What do I think will happen to Gina Carano in the future, especially Star Wars? Nothing. Nothing's gonna happen, dude. And it shouldn't happen. She has her opinions. I disagree with her. I disagree with her assertions about the 2020 presidential election. But that has more to do with how she responds to criticism online. I guess, it is what it is. I like Tom Cruise movies, but I think he's insane. I like Gina Carano as an actress. I love her as Cara Dune. I'm not going to stop watching the show or wish bad things upon her because I don't agree with her. If she were to start weaponizing that, start targeting people, right? Specifically, and I know some people might bring up the whole beep, bop, boop fucking pronoun thing. I thought that was just kind of trolly. But if she started outright targeting people or whatever, I would have issues. I would have a lot of issues. But in the meantime, I think it's funny that she was talking about the difference of opinion, but then blocked me for having a difference of opinion that I expressed in a very polite way. All right. Okay. You agree all you're saying. This is Jaro talking about Star Wars theory. I agree. All I'm saying is that Theory is not a terrible person. Here's the thing, man. I don't think he's a terrible person, but I do think that he knows when he is grifting. And I think he knows, and you can look at his social blade to see when he does it. And you can see the spikes and stuff like that. Otherwise, when there's not anything new Star Wars wise, his channel gets pretty stagnant. So he needs to find a way to breathe life into it. And usually when there's a new Star Wars project like Mando or a movie or something, he's able to build off from it. And the thing is, a lot of those kind of niche channels are like that. They are. And so I don't think he's a terrible person. I don't. I do think, though, that there are certain things that he hides behind as a way to kind of, fleece people a little bit. And I think that's, I don't think that's right. And I think the fact that how he treated Eckert's Ladder for disagreeing with them was inappropriate. And that's what prompted me to say something. And then he dug up an old email I sent him over 2 years ago. It was some kind of gotcha. People are like, how does it feel to be destroyed by Star Wars theory? I wasn't destroyed by Star Wars Theory because what he did had nothing to do with my criticism. You know, because I think he milks it. I think he milks it when the time comes, when he can. Anthony says here, I just unsubscribed from Geeks and Gamers. Well, I would hope you would have done that a long time ago, and don't do it on my account. Watch what you want to watch. There's just things I'm not going to watch. I'm just not going to give any time to. So there's that. Let's see. Music Man said, you said you want to do more comic reviews. Is there any storylines that you would like to read that you haven't? There's I don't read a lot of comics, so practically a lot. You know, I get lost in, I have OCD. So for comics are very difficult for me because if it's an ongoing series, I can read it. If it's a run, I can read it. But if it's I need to find specific runs because otherwise I get lost in it and I don't know where to go. And if I don't know where to go, I start to overthink it and then I just kind of burn myself out. Is the Aeroverse ever going to get canceled? I think so. I think it's soon. I think Supergirl is ending. They just said yesterday that they're not going, or the other day that they're not going to go with the Green Arrow show. And Black Lightning is getting canceled. I'm pretty sure Legends of Tomorrow is going to get canceled. Arrow's gone. The Flash is the last one they've got going on, and I wouldn't be surprised if that ends up getting moved to DC to HBO Max. And they got Stargirl, but that's not part of the Aeroverse. I don't think it is. At least I could be wrong. But yeah, I think they're going to start wrapping those things up because they just kind of run their point. And I don't know anyone who's consistently watching them anymore. So, all right. Let's see here. Am I going to check out Netflix's Night Stalker? Yeah. I need to do that. Alice Eve or Anne Hathaway? Not even a question, dude. Alice Eve. My God. Star Trek Into Darkness. Oof. They really need to get rid of the Flash. No, they need to make the Flash great again. We're talking season 1, season 2. Right. Flash. Yeah, I forgot Superman and Lois and Batwoman. Jesus Christ, dude. I tried watching the trailer for I just looks so terrible. You know, and it's not even a Henry Cavill is my Superman kind of guy. It's literally just, it looks terrible. All right. I'm going to wrap this thing up here because it's almost 11 p.m. I think I'm going to probably end up jumping on with Nicotina in an hour. He asked me to come on. I have some other work to do. And I really just want these to be fucking 45 minutes. And we're quite literally double. This is a double size episode to make up for last night. Anyway, listen, guys, I really appreciate everyone who came in tonight, hung out. This was a lot of fun. I might clip out the Ray Fisher segment just because, for reasons, I guess. I don't know. But at the same time, if you guys want to help support the channel, you can get your name right here alongside people like Dian, Master of None, Garguts, the Gaming Godfather, Vince Batchelor, Awesome Cat, Gerald Johnson, and my own father. My own father donates to the show. That's how much he believes in me, folks. My own father supports the channel. Anyway, you guys can find me on Twitter at mjarbo. You guys can always do the hashtag pound HWAD. I'm also on Facebook. I need to find a way to work more with that one because I feel like I'm letting the Facebook group kind of just drift into whatever the hell. I got to work on that. I'll be back on tomorrow night before WandaVision. We'll talk about what to expect. I think the reviews are going out tomorrow. We'll break that down. Again, you guys are awesome. Thank you. We had over 106 people here tonight. That is a lot. I can't wait to dive into it. I'll see you all later. Have yourself a great night. And peace the absolute fuck out.